Hey guys, welcome back to What Next? And this week we're going to go over this new one, The Wrecking Crew. By the time this video is coming out, this movie had been out, I would say, about 4 weeks now at this point. So for those of you, again, who haven't seen it, do yourself a favor and go ahead and watch this one. It's actually a really good comedy. Like, I was expecting... I got a little more than I was expecting on this one out of these two. I figured these two together would be a good comedy duo, and it did not disappoint. So... if you haven't seen this one, do yourself a favor and go ahead and watch this. So for those of us that have seen it, let's jump into it. Okay, so we watch the movie, we see what happens. So now I'm always sitting there wondering what next for these two characters. So I'm going to go ahead and start with Johnny, all right, Mr. Momoa here. So I'm thinking what happens with Johnny. So Johnny's kind of, I don't want to say a nomad, but he is kind of a nomad. So he has his life over in... the States. I think he's in Oklahoma is what they mean. I believe it's Oklahoma. So he's a sheriff or a tribal policeman on a reservation. So, they say he's had some trouble. He's suspended. So at the end of the movie, they kind of make it seem like he's going to stay in Hawaii. So to me, I'm like, does he stay in Hawaii? Does he go back home? Because he does have something to face with his suspension. And I'm sure there's a story there that we don't know or maybe we not know if we ever do get a sequel to this. So he clearly did something wrong. I know he said he shot somebody, but the story behind it, we'll see. Because he clearly is a very passionate person. He's a dedicated officer, so he clearly likes what he does and wants to protect the people that are around him. So, so I was curious about that. Like, does he stay or does he go? Because at the end, he tells Mr. K, hey, this is my home. So I'm like, I get he's a native Hawaiian, but it's like, is he staying there or is he leaving? Like, I'm kind of confused, especially with him and his girlfriend. So, that, and then I'm like, if he stays, or even if he doesn't stay there, I'm like, he has the name of his mother's murderer. So it's like, does he really not go after the guy who kills his mother? I know he burned it as like, I don't need to go down that road. It's going to cause me too much pain. But I'm thinking, does he actually say, you know what? I'm going to find this guy and... do what he does, or have him arrested or something. Find something on him to have him arrested. Because we don't know why the mother was murdered. Like, somebody killed the mother. We don't know. I don't know if it's tied into everything that happened here with the governor, or anything with the Yakuza or the I'm forgetting the name of the Hawaiian Mafia. I'm sorry, I forget the name. The syndicate that is there. So that's where I'm just kind of gonna be like, was she wrapped up into all that? Like that, I don't know. So, but at the end, Mr. K does give him the name. So I'm guessing he did say he had nothing to do with it. So that is right. So it's like, who? So yeah. So we'll leave it. So yeah, I'm just curious if he decides to go after, who got his mom, and then so even with that, if he does decide to go after who went after his mom. Does he involve his brother James? So does James decide to help out Johnny, and they go after, essentially his mother and his stepmother's, murderer? Or essentially does something else just come their way and somebody needs the Holly brothers to come and help them out? Like, I could kind of see that, like maybe Mr. K has something come up and he's like, I need the Holly brothers to help me out because, they did such a good job on this thing. Because they're not really police. They kind of, wave the line between, that gray line between police and not police, because he's, James is is a Navy officer. He's technically a police officer, not in Hawaii, but, he does have that training and that, that presence. So I could see them being useful to someone like Mr. K. But yeah, I'm thinking about what's next for these two. So they do talk about, they do have that thumb drive with the $12 million to it. So it's like, do they actually access that and kind of take that and go, maybe they split it and they go, start living life a little more, lavish or something like that. Like, because when money's not an option, you can definitely live a little freer. But I was also thinking that 12 million is attached to the governor. So we last see the governor, he gets arrested, put in jail. So I'm guessing he comes out and he's not happy with, the Holly brothers. They kind of, he feels they stabbed him in the back. They betrayed him. They got him put in jail. So, and they essentially took his money. So I don't know if they take the money or if they just hold on to that so that way at least he can't have it. So I'm guessing that in some way, shape, or form, he's going to get out at some point, and then he might be going after these two. So maybe that could be something too. Like he gets more Yakuza because they kind of got rid of the Yakuza in the area, and they go after the Holly brothers, so they got to bring in Mr. K and other guys to come in and help them. Essentially kind of becoming like the Wrecking Crew too. But yeah, that's kind of what I had for these two. I mean, you have a lot of funny secondary characters in here. You have Pika. Pika's kind of, we found out it was like the dad's assistant for his detective agency. I see whatever they do next, they bring in Pika because he's kind of like the tech expert for the most part. Like he can get into most things, so I can see him being in there. Obviously, he was a funny addition to everything. Johnny's girlfriend Valentina. It was it's like what happens with her, because clearly she manages a bank in what is it? Was it? Oh, I gotta look that up. Ohio, Oklahoma, one of the two, wherever they live. So I'm thinking, she's probably got to go back home. So because she said, I'm only going to be in Hawaii for a day or two to help you out. So she stays for the duration of this thing, which I think ends up being a couple, like maybe 2-3 days. So I'm guessing she's got to go back to work because she's a bank manager. So unless she up and quits and stays in Hawaii, like we don't know what's happening with those two, whether they get back together, whether they don't get back together. So it's like, does she stay or does she go? So it's like in a sequel, is she necessary? I mean, she found out she was kind of like a little bit of a badass. Like you see in the scene where she's driving the minivan, she's got some skills behind the wheel. She definitely knew what they were talking about with the banking stuff, but that's her world because she's in the banking or the finance world. So that's where I kind of thought, okay, she's a little more of a badass than she lets on. But being with Johnny here, I'm sure he knew she was a badass the whole time, and we were just waiting for it to show. So I think if you get all those elements back together for whatever the plot would be for a sequel, I think it works perfectly. So this one I definitely think deserves a sequel. Obviously the ending did put everybody in a good place. Obviously we still have some questions and are asking what next with these guys, but it did end it in a good spot to where if this is a one-off, I'm okay with it. I would like to see these two again come back as the Holly brothers, but we'll see. So thanks for watching. If you guys have any comments or concerns or something you think I missed on this one, or if you just loved it too as much as I did, please let me know down in the comments. As always, thanks for watching, guys. See you next week.